If you're in the tech game, there's no doubt that you've probably heard of Shure. Now, the first time I came across the professional audio brand was back in my band days, where we had some SM58s rocking around for band practice. Now, they were the best microphone, by the way. I'm not sure if they're still used today, but they just were a staple back then. Your band singer needed an SM58 to look legitimate. That was just how it was. Now, that was a good 15 years ago now, though Shure is now around 100 years old. So they've had some decent experience with audio equipment, and for this video we're taking a look at the brand new Aonic40 over-ear headphones, which promise to bring studio quality audio to your everyday music. The Shure Aonic40s offer a very sleek and almost understated design, with its standout feature being the silver band snaking from the actual headband and around the rear of the ear cup. The majority is covered in a soft but premium feeling plastic, which has been moulded to shape the ear cups and are unfortunately a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Each ear cup has been branded with the Shure name quite tastefully, and they don't really stand out proud. They're sleek and have an aura of elegance about them. A metal band actually runs through the headband itself to give it a bit of stability up top, and its flex is pretty decent, albeit a small amount of creaking sound when the headband adjustment has been used. Now, they fold down to store away in the carrying case, yet don't snap into place when extended, leaving the Aonic40s to feel very floppy when moving them around. The cushioned ear cups are covered in faux leather material, while the underside of the headband itself feels a little tougher, like a silicone, though both areas offer a decent amount of comfort while in use. Now, I only felt a slight bit of tension up top around the crown after prolonged use, which isn't the greatest feeling if you're using them in the office 8 hours a day. The entire ear cup encapsulates my ears, but not really by much. It was a bit of a squish for me, and your mileage may vary. My ears were not really squashed enough to cause the Aonic40s to be uncomfortable though. The left ear cup itself is pretty much free from clutter, as it only houses the power and Bluetooth connection buttons, which activates Bluetooth 5.0. On the right ear cup though, you can find buttons for play and pausing music, volume up and down, and the button that switches between ambient and noise cancellation modes. Now, I couldn't find a skip track feature anywhere. No matter how many times I tried on my set here, multiple presses just turned my music up and down. However, most of this stuff can be controlled inside of the partner app, ShurePlay. Now, ShurePlay, I must say, is one of the best implemented apps I've seen for a while for Bluetooth headphone offerings. There's so much to this app that's completely customizable that you can really dial your settings in. After all, this is what Shure is really going for with their studio accurate sound quality. The device page, as well as showing you your battery level, of which you have 24 hours and a firmware update, allows you to adjust the levels of the noise cancellation and environmental modes, aka the ambient sound through the fader. For active noise cancelling, I settled on low, as the medium and high settings introduced a faint hiss to my ears. It's not off-putting by any means, especially if you like listening to louder music, but it can be noticeable during quieter audio. The environmental mode or ambient sound I kept just whacked right up to the top in case someone needed to get my attention in the office. Now, it's a shame to say that I wasn't really hugely impressed with the active noise cancellation on offer here. It's an odd one though, and really punishes your audio senses. Shure is being very clever by implementing a reactive ANC, meaning the ANC could be stronger in a single ear if it detects that more noise is coming from that direction. So for example, if you've got a crowd of people on your left, the Aonic40s will try harder to block off the audio in the left ear than on the right. And if you turn around, the crowd will then be more blocked in the right ear and then the left. I would have preferred just a blanket ANC across both ears, no matter what is detected by each microphone. It's definitely clever, don't get me wrong, but I don't think this kind of thing is really needed. And I think Bose with their QC range and the Sony XM4s really do peak above Shure's offering when it comes to ANC. You've also got the chance to choose when the headphones signal you with a tone, like powering on and off or connecting with Bluetooth. I kept these as default. A USB audio mode for conferencing to lower the audio quality in favour of using the built-in microphone, and a busy light, which is a small red light to indicate to others while you're on a call, though this feature does seem a bit dumb, as most people would probably associate a red flashing light as a low battery and will probably interrupt you anyway. The standout feature on the ShurePlay app though is definitely the EQ, where you can set your audio quality using presets like bass cut, treble cut, a boost to the vocals, and really so on. But you've also got a really in-depth custom EQ that you can switch on that allows you to adjust your gain, your bandwidth, and frequency. To be perfectly honest with you though, I don't know what all of those do really, and it took me a bit of experimenting to really find a sound that I was pleased with, but the layout and how easy the app looks and performs is just amazing for people with the lack of knowledge to hone in on their preferences right from the word go. And once you've found a manual EQ setting you like, you can save it as a preset inside of the app to return at a later time. So this means that you can really mix and match it with the genre of music you're listening to. The audio quality though with the headphones, despite what I've just mentioned about the ANC here, is flawless. These headphones sound literally so good and accept a number of codecs like aptX, aptX HD, AAC and SBC. Now Shure did say they were going for accuracy, and despite not being in the room with 100% of my music library artists while they made their songs to really tell if they're accurate or not, I can say that I never once felt as if something was off. Bass levels, even during moments where the bass was a little heavier or dirtier, never felt as if they were overpowering my music, and mids and highs cut through with precision. Now vocal clarity was absolutely on point, and in some instances really felt alive, like during Sinatra's New York. The reverb heard in Sinatra's voice was just amazing to hear. There was just a huge amount of detail to be heard in the Aonic40s, and even now, with more well-known tracks of mine, I felt I was hearing new things within them for the first time, and there was just something about the drums, especially in the more electronic processed music. Their punchiness and their attack throughout the backline of music was just stellar. They were just so good. Now I cannot praise these headphones more. I mean, they're definitely some of the best sounding cans I have on my shelf right now, that's for sure. Call quality also follows in the footsteps of music as well, and what I heard was very good and very clear, and even the built-in microphones on the Shure Aonic40s was decent too. Now you can even connect them to a desktop or laptop using a USB-C cable for taking conference calls and the like if you're in the office. Just take a listen to the sound quality of the microphones. It's really not as full sounding as you might like, but for a call, it's definitely above adequate. Okay, so we're back in the kitchen with another microphone test. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this okay. There's not really much background noise going on at the moment here, but it just gives you an idea of what the Aonic40 microphone is going to sound like while you're on calls, while you're talking to your friends over the phone, and while you're on a conference call on Teams through work and things like that as well. So the Shure Aonic40s can be found online for just over £200, around the $215, $220 mark, which is going to sound like an expensive offering. But when you consider you've got Sony and Bose throwing into the mix at higher price points than this, they're extremely competitive and definitely a set that should be considered if you're after a really fancy set of cans for your music. Now, it's such a shame about the quirky active noise cancelling and the rubberized silicone headband that Shure has gone with, as this really does let the side down somewhat, though the sound quality more than makes up for the small pitfalls, I think. They're a cracking set of headphones that not only look super elegant, but they also sound amazing too. And to undercut the likes of Sony and Bose with their pricing is just a bonus in my eyes. So thank you very much for checking out my video review of the Shure Aonic40 headphones. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to keep up with our latest tech and gaming videos. And also let us know in the comments down below what you think about the Shure Aonic40s. I know they've not been on the market for very long, but would you go for something like this over the Bose QC range or the Sony XM4s, or even the Bowers & Wilkins? I know I've got my PX wireless here, but I think they've released some new ones anyway. Anyway, would you go for these or would you go for something else? Let us know in the comments down below. As I say, thank you very much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.